afternoon, everyone. Thank you for your patience. We'll call this meeting to order. Reverend Edwards, would you bless us with the day after Easter invocation?
Yep.
We'll remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Create and sustain your whole community. Together today to ensure the welfare of the city. We thank you for the calling of the public service placed upon the mayor, the council, and the staff. Grant us the minds and the hearts to discern the best path forward, navigating complex issues with fairness and integrity. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Reverend Edwards. Everyone had a great Easter. In accordance with the Freedom of Information Act, Chapter 4, Title 30, Code of Laws of South Carolina, 1976, an agenda has been posted on the front door of City Hall, and notification of this meeting has been given to the news media. I can confirm we have a quorum.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor.
All right. First up, we have a hearing for the suspension and revocation of a business license of the Uptown Grill establishment. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. I know we got this room set up a little differently than we usually do, but before we get started, I want to put something on the record.
Yes, I need to recuse myself from this part of it.
But having said that, I can confirm we still do have a quorum, even with Reverend Edwards.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor.
Right. Well, I know we don't do these terribly often, but we will hold the actual hearing. Are y'all from Uptown Grill?
Yes, sir.
Everybody ready to go? Ready from this side?
Yes, sir.
All right, ready to go over here? All right. All right. I know we recently adopted some rules for procedure of these. To start off, both sides will have an opportunity to give a 5-minute opening statement, and pursuant to these rules, Sarah and Chief Shadone, y'all go first.
Yes, sir.
Ready to proceed?
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I'm here this afternoon to ask you to hold the suspension and revocation of the business license for Uptown Grill. On March 26, 2026, the City of Greenwood Police Department hand-delivered a letter to Mr. Dunlap stating that his business license for Uptown Grill had been suspended with proposed revocation pursuant to Section 1081 of the Greenwood Municipal Code. This action was taken because Uptown Grill has become a nuisance with consistent pattern of unlawful activity. I'm going to establish that Uptown Grill has a negative effect on the general welfare of our community. I intend to present evidence showing that Uptown Grill is a threat to the health and safety not only of City of Greenwood employees, but also to the community at large. This business creates hazards that strain our local emergency services and has resulted in significant damage to property and physical injury of patrons and citizens. Thank you for your time and attendance to this matter.
From Uptown Grill, is there any statement?
You need to get restart.
Gotcha. Y'all have the opportunity to present an opening statement. Is there anything you'd like to say?
Well,
5 minutes?
you want to go first?
We'll have one person speaking for the Uptown Grill.
Well, I would like to say,
Yeah, if you could speak into the microphone right here. If you could state your name for the record.
all right, my name is Kendrick Yeldale, one of the part owners of Uptown Grill, and
Excuse me, could you repeat that? I have to write that down.
oh, my name.
Yes.
My name is Kendrick Yeldale.
Thank you.
All right, just speaking on Uptown Grill, I know she said that we pose some kind of threat to the community and to property and things like that. I don't feel like we pose a threat to the community. Things happen out of our control. You know, if we're closed and things happen, there's nothing that we can do about that. We have provided security. We have spent tons of money to protect everything. Kind of lost for words right now, but
Ask for the city help.
we done asked for the city help plenty of times. We asked we could get an officer out there. We were gonna pay just so things like this wouldn't happen. Just protect the people, protect the business, and protect the community and everything like that. We were told no. Said that they don't have the manpower, and then the last thing they said they can't do it because of we had alcohol license and they couldn't come out there. I know we done got a lot of calls about Uptown with music and things like that, but each time officers came out, we were never ticketed for anything. A lot of the calls were bogus. Let's see. We've been open for 5 years. We got 3 minutes. We've been open for 5 years. Like I said, we never had any kind of, we had 2 incidents that, of course, we don't want to happen nowhere. You know, not just Uptown, but just nowhere in Greenwood. But those things happen kind of really outside of the lines of Uptown Grill. We can't help somebody riding down the road and just open shots at the building. We don't know that's gonna happen. If we can predict it, we can prevent stuff. But unfortunately, it don't work that way. As far as property damage and things like that, the way we got that building, the building still looks the same after 5 years. Nothing wrong with the building. Nothing wrong with nobody else's property around that building. Like I said, we do for the community. Done things for the community. We don't pose no threat. Me and my other 2 partners, we are good-minded people. We don't stand for trouble. We're not in trouble. We don't do anything in the likes of anything with trouble and things like that. So we're just good citizens. We're not the way that they're putting it out to be with, Uptown Grill, responsible for these things. We're not responsible for nothing. We didn't do none of that. We don't stand for it. I don't know, you want to say anything?
Well, we got one, anything needs to be said.
Oh, got one person, okay. All right. I can say. Yeah. I'm gonna get into that. Yeah, so getting back to like day 1 of the operations of the thing. I know Brandon, you came over there. You ate in. I remember you coming in, but day 1 we had a meeting like February 2022. You was a part of it. I don't think Raw was there. Miss Nikki was there. I know she might not be. She was at the hearing about the ordinance. Miss Julie was there, but we talked about trying to get help. And you were there? No. 1 minute left. Okay. Yeah, we did everything. We felt like from the jump we were stereotyped. Seemed like the city they wasn't never behind us. But we just rolled with the punches what we had. You know what I'm saying? We did the best we can do in the situation that we had. Like I said, we don't stand for trouble. And we don't feel like we're a threat to the community. If, I could have brought half the whole community here and they would have told y'all they stand behind us and they felt safe. We don't know when things like that will happen, gonna occur. We just don't know that. We opened it up as a restaurant. We're not a nightclub. We open every day of the week except for Sunday. We was on DoorDash. We operated like we're supposed to. We didn't hide nothing, and with no hidden agendas, no secrecies, no nothing. Anybody could come in. We just did not allow weapons inside of that building. Now, like I say, what happens on the outside is we have no control over. Outside of the security, they try to do their best to get everybody to leave that building. Folks, we have to be out by 2 a.m. Try to get everybody out of there. And that's what they were doing that night. That thing popped off, and
Thank you. All right. We'll start with presentation of the evidence from the municipality side. Y'all are free to call any witnesses. And y'all will have opportunity to cross-examine any witnesses. 15 minutes for the municipality for witnesses, 10 minutes for cross-examination.
I'd like for the first witness to be Chief Shadowan.
Chief, well, we'll go ahead and if you want to swear Chief in.
Swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. Yes, sir.
Yes, he interested.
Okay.
Can you please state your name, position, and how long you've been in that position?
My name is Chief T.J. Shadowan. I've been the interim chief in 2020 and became the chief in January 2021. Been in law enforcement since 1996. Started with Department of Corrections. Been with the city of Greenwood since 2000, 2001. But just worked probably every position that you can think of that the city has. Most of my career has been investigation and detectives.
Do you have supervisory duties to review crime data and crime patterns in general for the city of Greenwood?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you familiar with the calls for service and crime reporting in the city?
Yes, ma'am.
And how are you aware of the calls for service and crime reporting?
Well, we have a caliber system that's set up, so anytime there's a call generated, so if somebody calls where it's an emergency, non-emergency number, there's what they call a call generation. So it just creates a call, and then it tells what that call is about, whether it's through 911 or through the non-emergency number. And at that time, it's located and it's docked, so it's there forever. The biggest thing is, regardless of whether an officer finds anything or not on the scene, they still document that the call was there. If the officers find some type of crime or something like that happened, then they'll write an incident report.
Okay. And are these records kept in the course of regularly conducted law enforcement business activity for the police department?
Yes, ma'am, through our caliber system.
Okay. And is it the regular practice of the city, Greenwood Police Department, to enforce the business activities to make the reports, records, and data compilations?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Are you familiar with the calls for service and crime reporting for bars and restaurants in the city of Greenwood?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you familiar with the calls of service and crime reporting for Uptown Grill in particular?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And where is this business located?
It's 610 Seaboard Avenue.
And what type of business is it, and to your knowledge, how long has it been operating?
It's a restaurant/bar, and they've been operating, I believe, in the latter part of 2021. It is somewhere around probably September, somewhere in there. I think it's when they officially opened, but you can't quote me on that. I know they were open in 2022, but I think they originally started somewhere like August or October.
Okay. Has your department actually responded to calls at this location?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
And what type of calls have those been?
We've been to every type of call. I will say, for the record, these two gentlemen that's in the front here, Mr. Yeldale, he's right. He could get 1,000 people probably to come up here, including people from the police department, say how good of a person they are. It don't stop the fact that you're still responsible for what's happening at your place of business. We've been to shootings. They've had somebody shot at that business every year except for 2025. They had a murder in 2022, shooting in 2023, 2024, and then they had nothing in 2025, and just here, of course, in 2026, we just had another murder.
All right. Chief, I'm going to have Deputy Chief McAllister show you a piece of paper that I'd like to present as Exhibit A. And do you recognize this document?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And who prepared this document?
I did, ma'am.
And I'd like to present council with a copy of it. How did you create this document?
This was generated through our caliber system. This just shows every time that we were called to 610 Seaboard Avenue.
Okay. And what's it, I know you said it's a summary of what was at that location. Where did that summary come from?
It came from me. I actually generated it through our caliber system. So again, back to your earlier question, whenever a call comes in for a call for service, it generates a call, and that's where this came from, that generation of those calls.
Okay. And is this a stack of reports from that summary?
Correct.
Okay. let's see here. Are these reports created and kept in the order, are they kept in the ordinary course of law enforcement business for this police department?
Yes, ma'am, that is correct.
Okay. I'd also like to present, this is Exhibit B for councils. Now then, have you compared this business with any other establishments in the area?
We actually, I compared this business to 5 other local restaurants/bars that we have in the city of Greenwood. Nikki's Chicken and Waffle, Oxygen Lounge, T.W. Boone's, Howard's, and Sports Break.
Okay. And then what about any other types of businesses in that particular area, not just the bars?
Well, we always have like a data center, so we can see every calls in certain areas. That's how we do our data, to see where we need to put extra police or where we need to put extra patrols in different areas.
With the calls that we have in the Exhibit A, are those actual ones that are occurring at Uptown Grill or directly related to that property, or is it immediately or adjacent properties?
Yes, ma'am. All these calls were attributed to 610 Seaboard Avenue.
Okay.
I'm going to stop you real quick. Are you introducing these as Exhibit A and Exhibit B?
Yes, sir.
All right. I tell you what, we should at least probably mark them if someone has. Okay, very good. And then that stack right there is Exhibit B.
Correct.
Are any objection to those being entered into the record?
Besides some of these calls, we don't have no record on. I mean, I don't know, am I supposed to go down every call?
I guess the question is there, and you're gonna have a chance to cross-examine here about this, but do you have any objection to the actual introduction of Exhibit A or Exhibit B in the record? And the basis for that objection?
Yeah.
What is that?
I mean, I'm just saying, some of these calls, some of them we agree with, but a lot of these we ain't even know nothing about. So I don't, I'm not no lawyer, so I don't know.
I guess the question is, from an evidentiary standpoint, do you have any, you're gonna have a chance to present evidence refuting anything introduced, but from an evidentiary standpoint, do you have any specific reason why it should not be?
No.
Okay. Exhibit A and Exhibit B are introduced into the record. You'll have.
Is this B or this A?
That's A. That's
Okay.
A.
All right.
The list right there is B.
This is B.
That's me.
This B right
The
here.
whole thing?
That's what they said.
I'm just acting.
Any objections to bid?
We should have bought it down.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. We know we was in court.
Y'all take all the opportunity you need to review those. Again, those are entered into the record, and y'all will have an opportunity to cross-examine and question those.
Exhibit B is a tabulation of, or Exhibit A is a tabulation of Exhibit B.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Okay.
I know, that one she got off. Not all that shit, man. Stop.
Tell them they win.
Oh, shit, I really don't matter.
You know what I'm trying to say?
We can still talk about it. I ain't afraid.
No, but I'm like, I'm gonna get mad too.
I'm all pissed.
Ray can't get mad.
Ray, I don't know nothing about that, man. We don't know nothing about all that, man.
Just make sure you're staying the same holders. Thank you.
I know it. We don't check nothing.
That's for ladies. It's our time. They brought us to court and we know who's going to court. Relax. We know who's coming to court. So it should be that many then.
It should be 148.
We ain't got that many.
162. 110.
I'm trying to tell you, it's about 400 pages, about 400 different reports. This ain't 400 reports.
What you call this too now?
It might be about 100 something, but still 400.
Yeah, you got 2026. 2025.
So each one should have
Should just stay.
Yeah.
I know what you said. It's up to y'all. Traffic stop. I mean, we can't get the traffic stops and stuff like that. They got nothing to do with it. I don't know nothing. We got down Larson. They set someone on fire.
Mainly,
Take that shit. They got you with us.
I'm probably there about 12 times.
They gon'
Yeah. Yeah, they all there. 16, 16, 16. Do you ride? That's how you do it. I know you know. Do you ride for me?
who is it?
I'm saying?
The only thing I'm up there.
Brought us to court. You know we were coming to court. I was coming to the assembly here. Speeding, no driver's license. Have you kidding me, man?
You need a lawyer for that. He got something.
Can't put look at this one. Use an ID. Somebody got ID.
But how would they know that?
Good question. Malicious injury property.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how to be called. I may have no.
Child abandonment. What?
At Uptown? You remember that look tonight?
I don't know though. But,
Yeah, me neither.
Well, I want to give them ample opportunity.
So we didn't know we were going through the whole.
Court.
yeah, we thought it was just a simple hearing, and we got known that we would've brought our lawyer here, though.
Well,
Yeah, we didn't know that.
I mean, it is a simple hearing. You had the right to
Appeal.
I think y'all were notified of the right to counsel, to have counsel here
No, say that.
in the notice.
No, we didn't say that. I don't think.
But again, y'all take your time, but
This is a copy of the hearing procedures that were served with the letter, so y'all know how the hearing goes.
you will have an opportunity to question anything in there. Really, what we're just asking is if you have any procedural evidentiary issue with either of these coming in.
Yeah, because you don't know half of the calls.
Yeah.
Over half of the calls. And those numbers don't add up to what's in the books. It should be 600 staple packets.
So all of these calls that's documented here, are they inside of these packets here?
So, as they presented it, Exhibit A is a summary of everything that's in Exhibit B. Everything that you have right there is summarized in Exhibit A. And you don't have an opportunity to cross-examine him about anything in there you want.
Okay. Okay. We go forward with Josh calls around. Why is all that deal on
You, I'm sorry, any objection to the exhibits?
Go on.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Does that understand? So, the exhibits are introduced without objection? Is that correct?
Yep.
All right. Just for timing purposes, we'll restart direct.
Yes, sir. All right, starting at 8:17 left. Okay.
All right, I would like to now present into evidence Exhibit C. This is a document summarizing all of these reports here. And Chief, can you give us an explanation of what Exhibit C is and who prepared it, how'd you create it?
So I prepared it, created the same way as the Uptown Bar. These are all the calls that we got related to the physical address of whatever the bars we're talking about. So this stack here is from the 5 other bars that we looked at for their call volume. And that was to see and compare not only to that, we look at it about once a year, but that was just to compare all 5 of them to Uptown Bar and Grill.
And then,
Are you seeking to introduce this into evidence?
yes,
As an
it's
exhibit?
C.
All right. Along with this, are you seeking to introduce that as D or is that part of C?
Part C.
Okay. Any objection to the evidentiary introduction of Exhibit C?
Stopped at 6:30.
All right, any objection to Exhibit C coming into the record?
Thank you.
Okay. Exhibit C is introduced without objection. And Exhibit C consists of both the summary and the actual reports. All right. John Brooks,
Starting at 6:35.
Chief, in comparing the Exhibit A and Exhibit C, what is most concerning about these calls and the activity that they show?
Well, I think, where people get confused is, and I know there's a lot of confusion over there, everything there is where officers wrote incident reports. That means there was something that they got there, they got a complaint, and they wrote an incident report. Same way with the others, at the other places. So not always officer writes incident report. For example, if somebody calls about loud music, they don't hear anything, they just enter comments. So there's no report in there that says that. But the biggest concern for me, for Uptown Bar and Grill, is the fact that they've had 2 murders, 2 persons shot, 17 fights, 8 assaults. That's the biggest thing that concerns me, discharging a firearm 3 times. Those are things that concerns me about them. And when you compare them to all the other 5 businesses, they're nowhere near that. The only person that's even had anybody shot inside the bar was Nicky's and Waffles. And that was where a DJ and a patron got into it, and he shot the DJ in the leg, and the DJ got the weapon away from him and shot him back in the stomach. That's the only other incident out of all 5 of those that revolved in shootings.
All right, and how do you consider that these calls negatively affect the health, safety, and general welfare of the community?
I think the biggest thing is you got victims, and I understand their point, and by all means I understand it, and I like Mr. Yeldale, he's a great person, and you probably won't find anybody speak bad about him, but it's still your responsibility as a business owner for your business. You're still responsible, just like your home, you're responsible for your home, and they are responsible for their business. And as much as we want to sit up here and talk about, the no loud music or this or that, the fact is there's 2 families out here that don't have loved ones no more. And it happened at their establishment. And I bet you can probably bring in the mothers of Mr. Chambers, and they probably feel different about their son not being protected that night.
Is there anything else that you want to add or say in conclusion?
No, I would just add, beyond anything that we've known, I've been in law enforcement for a long time, and I think it's probably on us because Mr. Yeldale is such a good person and we wanted his business to succeed that we gave him a lot of leeway. And I'm sure that they're going to be asking him about their security and switching securities from last year when they had no incidents to this year. But you're still responsible. And the fact of the matter is, if people lost their lives inside there, and it's a direct result of the patrons that's visiting their establishment. It has nothing to do with them, but you're still responsible for who comes in and visits your facility.
Any further questions?
No, sir.
All right. Mr. Yeldale, you have 10 minutes to cross-examine and ask Chief Shinoa any questions.
This is C, it's supporting, this is the A, and where's the B? Since these things are all kind of loose, I need to keep them in order, all right? So C is all the other bars. B is what they say is you, and A is the summary of that. Correct, correct. Let me just, as soon as these get messed up, they will be careful with that together. All right, you got 10 minutes.
Hey, quick question.
Yes, sir.
Still only one person can talk?
Yeah, one representative for Uptown Grill. If you have anything y'all want to ask, run it, if it's Mr. Yeldell, run it through him.
You just tell me when to start and stop the clock. Okay. I'm gonna give the same.
Sure.
All right.
Go ahead.
So on behalf of Uptown Grill, what TJ was saying, yeah, we
Well,
definitely.
this isn't a statement to us, this is your opportunity to ask, to cross-examine Chief Shadone and ask him any questions.
Okay. All right, Chief,
Yes, sir.
of course, we done had conversations before.
Yes, sir.
With everything that's been presented to us in these exhibits, we done came to you multiple times trying to get the city to help patrol the area. We offered pay, because we didn't know if you guys could do it or not, to keep things like this from happening. And I know you told me, no, you can't do it because of the manpower.
In law enforcement, we do not work any special events unless it's a city function event that serves or consumes alcohol. So it would not just for their bar.
Right.
It's any bar, like, we can't do the weddings at the federal building, any of those things that serve alcohol, our officers per our policy and guidelines are not allowed.
Let me make sure, I want to make sure you're answering the question that's asked. Was there actual?
Yeah, I mean, that's the answer that we got back, when we first talked about it. I would like to ask why, so the rest of the city,
That's the reason why. It's against our policy and procedures. We're not allowed to work any events like that, any bars, because it puts officers in bad predicaments. You can't have an officer sitting there where everybody in the bar's consuming alcohol and, then turn around, you got people driving cars. We come to your business already enough, it seems like we should have security there, because 148, 162, these are a lot of calls.
It's a lot of calls, but a lot of those calls are coming from, like I say, about the music and things like that. A lot of some of the calls over there, rape and drugs investigations, that stuff that we don't have a clue what's going on. We don't know somebody can call the police out there for a rape. That ain't happened. Child endangerment, things like that.
Well, the child endangerment had something to do, if I'm remembering right, it had something to do, because where some of that will get confusing, you have to understand is, if you do a traffic stop and they pull into their business and he calls out at 610 Seaboard, that's a call that's on there. So if you see a traffic stop.
That makes them look bad.
Hold on, one person at a time, speak.
It's our turn, right?
That's right.
All right then.
But,
So,
Mr. Yeldell is speaking on behalf of the entire, but this is your opportunity to ask questions. It's not statements or argument, just your opportunity to ask questions.
correct.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm asking.
So there's a lot, but there's not that many calls on there. Now, they're gonna argue that a lot of these calls come from one certain person that lives near there for loud music, and that's true. There is a variety of calls that come there for loud music through one particular person, but there's also people that's called about loud music that's not her.
Yeah, but
We still get a complaint about.
Any other questions for Chief?
So, as far as Uptown, let's see, as far as, y'all said it was up there a lot. Can you explain why Uptown was one of the main bars that y'all would do a compliance check at? Being that you already know we got the license and the permits and everything, so why would y'all do a compliance check there? And you have your officers get out, 8 to 10 officers come through, walking through, hand on shoulder. but they don't do that to none of the Caucasian bars in Greenwood.
Yeah. Well, first of all, that's an untrue statement, because we've never, ever went to just one bar. We always make sure we go to multiple bars when we're doing any type of checking for underage drinking, and that's usually what we're checking for, or if they're over serving and stuff like that, so you don't have bad accidents happen afterwards. But we've never just went to one bar. We always go to multiple bars. And it's usually a group of officers that comes in, and that's their sole purpose with SLED.
Most of the city bars that everybody in the city, we actually went to and asked those guys, had that kind of stuff been done? And they told us no, and they know not to come in here and try that kind of stuff.
We have papers. We're of course going to show where we do that. I mean, that's a, statement really doesn't, include this, but at the same time, we do compliance checks everywhere, including vape shops, including, convenience stores.
And I'm not saying nothing wrong with doing it, but I just find that it's kind of strange that y'all come to our business.
But what I'm telling you is that's not true.
I mean, I'm going off what I see with my own eyes.
That's fine.
And,
but I'm telling you it ain't true.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you what I see, TJ. I mean,
that's fine.
Just because you say it don't mean it right. No.
But just because you say it don't mean it's right.
I understand.
All right. We're not gonna get argumentative.
No, we're never going to get argumentative. I'm just saying,
From a procedural
I'll
standpoint.
stop the clock for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm cool. Like, everything good.
Right.
Yeah, most definitely. Oh, yeah, we good.
Any other questions for Chief Shador? You have 5 more minutes?
5.5.
5.5.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. I still got to do level head. Out. Say what now? Really, outside of anything like that, I can't say the city, they haven't bothered us, so they when I say city, I'm talking about the police officer patrolling. They haven't bothered us, been kind of cool with us. It's been no kind of flat, no nothing like that. I can't say that about them.
You're going to have an opportunity for a closing statement, but again, this is your opportunity to cross-examine Chief Shador.
Okay, well.
No, we're gonna.
Okay, well, can I ask this too? I guess maybe this is not the TJ though. This kind of just a general question. So about this meeting.
Is it a procedural question?
It was about this meeting.
No,
It was about this meeting.
Okay.
So we really don't feel comfortable with answering all these questions and asking these questions, whatever, without counsel with us. We didn't know it. Could it be rescheduled or just it?
We're underway.
Okay.
We're going.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
My understanding is, and you correct me if there's anything different, but you were given an opportunity to bring counsel here today.
We good. I promise we good. But it's fine. But we have no more.
You no more questions for Chief Shador?
No, sir.
All right. Well, let me look at. It doesn't stop for you to read. All right, and y'all can have a seat. Any other, thank you, Chief. Any other witnesses from municipalities?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'd like to call Major Shockley to the front, please.
All right. Badger, swear in, Shockley.
Swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. I do. Tell me when you start.
Okay. Can you state your name, position, and role with the police department, please?
Yes, ma'am. Blake Shockley. I currently hold the rank of major, and I'm assigned to the investigations division.
How long have you been in this position?
I've been supervisor of investigations since 2021.
Okay. What are your duties and responsibilities?
I oversee the investigations division, their day-to-day operation. I currently have 9 detectives under my command.
Okay. On March 22nd, 2026, did you respond to a call for service at Uptown Grill?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Can you tell the council how you were alerted and what the call was in reference to?
Yes, ma'am, I received a call roughly around 2 a.m. about a gunshot victim at the Uptown Bar and Grill, and it did not appear that he was going to be.
When you arrived on scene, did the location have any people as security?
Yes, ma'am, there was 3 security guards still on scene when I arrived.
And did you recognize any of them?
Yes, ma'am, one was a local resident that we had previous dealings with.
Okay. And what were the witnesses telling you about the security?
When we initially got there, Investigator Thompson received information that this security guard actually had shot the victim.
Okay. What else did you learn about the security at the location?
We knew that security guard had previous arrests, ran a criminal history on him, and he was prohibited from possessing a firearm.
Okay. And so one of the armed security officers was prohibited from possessing a firearm by state and federal law.
That's correct. He initially didn't have it on him, and he lied about possessing a weapon. And during the investigation, we talked to multiple witnesses and determined that he did have a gun on his possession at the time of the shooting.
Okay. Did Uptown Grill have any security cameras, and did you watch any video?
Yes, ma'am, they did. I watched the video.
Okay, and how did you get access to that video?
They gave us permission.
Okay. When you watched the video, could you tell if there were more than 49 people in the building at any given time?
Yes, ma'am. I would roughly say there was well over 49 the maximum capacity. I even checked with the other detectives, and they agreed that they were well over capacity.
I'd like to present into evidence Exhibit D. This is the occupancy load for that location, which states is at 49 occupants. When you watched the security footage of that incident, did you recognize any other individuals?
Let me just, before you start, is there any objection to Exhibit D coming into the record? Any objection?
No objection.
Okay. Exhibit D is entered into the record without objection.
Okay. When you watched the security footage of this incident, did you recognize any other individuals?
Yes, ma'am. There's several people that we recognize coming in and out of the establishment that we had previous dealings with criminally.
Okay. And how long have you known the management at the location?
Since the first murder that took place at Uptown.
Okay. And how many shootings have you worked at Uptown Grill?
I've personally responded to 4 shootings where someone sustained injuries.
Okay. And how many murders have you worked at that location under this same management?
2.
Have you observed any patterns at this location?
Yes, ma'am. Definitely seems to be fights break out, and that's when it turns into violence.
Okay. From 2022 until now, from your personal experience, have you or the detectives supervised or worked any other murders at this business, at any other businesses, bars, restaurants located in the city?
No murders that I'm aware of. Just Chief Shadone mentioned about Nikki's Chicken and Waffles that's currently still open. That's the only one that I personally responded to.
Okay.
And the other detectives, I'm sorry.
Okay. And based on your training and experience, would you consider Uptown Grill a nuisance for the city of Greenwood, or in the city of Greenwood?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay. Also, when y'all looked at the video, what else did you notice about the inside the establishment as far as the setup? With the tables and chairs and stuff, was it set up as a restaurant or was it set up for?
There's a few select stand-up tabletop, I guess you would call it, seating, but majority of it's open area, bar on the right side, and majority of the video that we watched, everybody was congregated towards the bar area.
Was it set up for dancing and?
Yes, it's in like an open floor, like it would be, as opposed to a restaurant. There was not much seating for a restaurant establishment.
Okay. We'd also like to show a video that they have, the video that they, that Major did watch.
All right, y'all prepared to
And you said it's on there.
play that?
That TV on?
I got to power it on.
You got a remote control for that TV?
Is it?
It's gonna be on the TV. Mr. Baker's got it.
Is this video produced by Uptown Grill?
Yes, we obtained it through their surveillance.
Okay. Any objection to, evidentiary objection to the video? All right. Is that, will that be exhibit, are you moving for that to be exhibit E?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I suppose there, you could have it as evidentiary purposes only, or actually enter it into evidence. If you're entering into evidence, it would have to be in some specific identified form. How would, if you're moving it into evidence, that would be by disk, flash drive, electronic means?
We'll get a thumb drive.
Right. Subject to that thumb drive being exactly this, we'll enter that as exhibit E.
How long is that? 2 minutes roughly. We don't have to play the entire thing if we need to cut it short. It's kind of, yeah.
We have 8 minutes. Okay.
2, yes. This is it. This is the main part. It should have audio too, but I don't know why it's not.
Easy.
It's not working. It's probably, yeah.
Okay. Was this in reference to the shooting, or was this in reference to something else?
This is within minutes before the shooting. The timestamp is not right. It shows 12, obviously, it shows 12:47 p.m. This is roughly 2 minutes before the shooting, and if I'm not mistaken, the shooting happened at 01:50 a.m. So the timestamp's definitely off, but if it plays far enough, you'll see even the people scatter when the gunshots actually happen. So this is literally leading right up before the shooting.
And do you recognize any of these individuals as having to deal with them through your police?
Yes, ma'am. I couldn't name names, but
Okay.
for purposes of I will.
Exhibit E that you're introducing will be that exact clip.
Yes, sir.
Can we make sure that the timestamp on that is exactly what was played?
Yes, sir.
You don't have much longer to play.
There's no need in them playing the rest of that. That was a majority.
Okay.
I would suggest playing one more.
Still open case.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all the questions we have at this time.
All right. Mr. Yellow, you have an opportunity to cross-examine maybe Shockley. You have 10 minutes.
He's still on the car?
Yeah. Anything you want to address, run it through.
Oh, that was his, it's all two dudes fighting.
To address that right now,
You can cross it down, yeah, you can cross it down.
so to, the video about the 49 people,
Yes.
2022, like I said, we had a meeting with the city, and they told us anybody, 49 people, everybody on the outside didn't count until we took that as that we can, anybody that's outside, that we able to have them there, except for not inside the establishment. And, now, as far as the shooting, like I said, once you seen everybody coming out the bar, we were closed. And we really have no recollection on why that happened, because those guys, I mean, y'all got the surveillance. Those guys were not in that bar having any kind of conversation with us. There's no fight, no fussing, no nothing. So we don't know what kind of issues they're having outside of what's going on. When they leave out, of course, we see that some girls on the way out the door were fighting. Had nothing to do with that incident. So we want to know how in the world. I know TJ say, which makes sense, that we are. Yeah, we know the people there, but I don't know how in the world can we be held accountable for that, even though we can't be held accountable for somebody else's action outside of the property, man. But I'm not here for that. We're not here for that, you know what I'm saying? But we don't like the part that we didn't get protected by it. Like it was always it's like it's Uptown real far. It's like me, James, and Tate got a gun out.
I just want to make sure you use this opportunity to ask a question.
Yeah, I get animated with everything. That's why I don't like to talk.
If there's a question, go ahead.
Yeah. So, but I'll just try to break it down to a question you did.
I think you did ask a question about the capacity. Yes, we were talking about the people inside, we weren't counting the people outside. So we do believe that there's well over 49 people inside the building.
Okay.
That's based off watching the surveillance video.
Gotcha.
And as far as the fight, I think that's a combination that not only a shooting over there happened and a murder, there was also a fight that, didn't even have anything to do with it. You're right, that's just a combination of multiple things happening on your premise. It's a totality of the circumstances. And, it's just, I think you had another question in there. I can't.
Outside the property?
Yeah. I just get
outside the property. I can't really go into a lot of detail because this murder is an ongoing investigation. But we do have multiple witnesses to show that altercation did take place in your establishment. There was a drink thrown in the victim's face, and that's what led to the murder. So yes, unfortunately, it happened outside of your property, which is still your property, but
we're responsible.
Initially, the primary altercation took place inside.
Correct.
So it did initiate inside of the bar.
Not from those guys.
Yes, the people that were involved in the murder, yes.
No, those guys, they did not initiate.
And again, I can't go into much detail of being an ongoing investigation, but yes, we do have multiple witnesses.
We still at fault, not at fault, but we're still supposed to protect everybody. So let me ask you this, like,
Yes.
Detective, what do you suggest? Now, this is not for Uptown, but for any other business. And I don't know if we can get into this question or not, but just for anybody that may want to get into this kind of stuff. What do you suggest, or what can happen? Like, what do you suggest for a bar to do that kind of stuff? Because I see y'all keep saying things about the type of people that come in there. But Uptown, a lot of people come in Uptown. Blacks, whites, Asians, Mexicans, they come in there. So, but I understand, I mean, I know where y'all getting at with that, but I don't think it's fair, but we can't help who come in there. It's not like we can walk up to the car and be like, hey man, we know you had a assault and battery back here 2 years ago, we can't let you in. We can't do no mess like that, man. We don't know, what do we do? What are we supposed to do? Do we walk up to them like, nah, you can't come in? I mean, I know we probably may have the right to do that, but like, put yourself in our shoes. What could you do? What would you do?
Unfortunately, Mr. Yoder, I'm just major of investigation.
Right. I know, man.
That ain't really a question for me.
Right.
If y'all make me answer it, I would try to, but I don't think that's an appropriate question for me.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I think you need to answer the question. Yeah.
Well, you do, you just said it, you do have a right to refuse people from your property. So
Right, correct.
I think I would start there.
Right, but what I'm saying though is, like Miss Nikki, right? Let's take Miss Nikki. I don't know nothing about Miss Nikki past from a can of paint. So if I see her walking up, I'm supposed to just be like, oh, she look like she done been in some trouble before. I can't let her in. Do it work that way? Because
Well, I will say this.
right.
That fight broke out several minutes before the shooting, and we never received a 911 call from any.
One more time.
We never received a 911 call from when that fight broke out. Not a single employee or anybody called 911. We never received.
Screenshot.
Yeah, she called crowd control actually before that happened.
Who?
Crowd control. They told us, see, if we make phone calls to the police, if we knew we were gonna get in trouble, we wouldn't call. Like, shoot, if we know they're getting documented, that hurt us in the long run, we wouldn't call. But they did tell us that it was.
This is you again.
Right, I'm
opportunity to ask questions. At the end, if you
Right.
want to make a closing statement, you can put anything non-question related in that. But this is your opportunity to ask him cross-examination.
Yeah. So yeah, we made a call about trying to get out there. This was before the gun, before anything happened. We made the call to crowd control or whatever about coming out there.
I don't know that that's a question. But you have a question for him?
Yeah, I mean, he said that we didn't call.
Okay.
So I was just letting him know this is a screenshot of the call right here that we made.
All right. Is that something you want to introduce into evidence?
You want to get into that? Okay, we don't want to. We will. That's on the close. That's on the close. Okay. I have no more questions for the detective.
All right. Thank you. Is there any other witnesses from the municipality side?
No, but I do have the doctor. Exhibit E.
That's Exhibit E, which is exactly what was shown.
That's what we just watched.
We plug it in for you, Dan, so you make sure.
So, subject to your review, we'll introduce Exhibit E into evidence. You take a look. If you have any issues with what is on there, we can address that. Any other witnesses from the municipality?
No, sir.
All right. All right, Mr. Gelno, this is your opportunity now to present your case, call any witnesses. Any witnesses you call, you'll have 15 minutes to ask them any questions.
It's just like closing right here?
No, this is your opportunity to call your case. After you call, you don't have to call any witnesses, you can call as many as you want, within reason. But after that, both sides will have an opportunity for a closing statement.
Okay, we're fine.
You're not You're not introducing any, you're not calling any witnesses or introducing any evidence in the record?
No, sir.
All right. At this time, anything else from either side before we go to closing statements?
No, sir.
Take 5 minutes.
All three, all of them.
Yeah, 5 minutes. All right, from municipality side, this is your opportunity to give a closing statement. You have 5 minutes.
Mayor and council, this afternoon, the evidence has shown you an extensive list of crimes and calls for service at 610 Seaboard Avenue. This evidence shows a clear and ongoing pattern that hasn't corrected itself over time. We've shown you a significant difference in the types of crime and number of calls for service at this location compared to other locations with similar businesses. Where everyone else had about 537 calls for service, Uptown alone had 504 calls for service during the same time periods. The evidence has established that Uptown Grill is a nuisance and creates a threat to the health and safety of our community, visitors, and employees. Please uphold the suspension and revocation of this business license for Uptown Grill.
Thank you. All right. Now is your opportunity to give a 5-minute closing statement.
Okay, yeah, on behalf of Uptown Grill, we came to this meeting to just pretty much get the hearing of it. Not going against what the city say. We actually thank the city for giving us the opportunity to, have a business inside the city. Unfortunate things happen on our behalf that we don't like, that we're not proud of. Things that's out of our control, we couldn't help it. We'll take the good with the bad, we're cool with that. The only thing that us three, we don't want our landlord, Alicia, to lose her building, shut down for a nuisance, for I think maybe a term of a year. I think that's how that thing go. We don't want her to lose her business. So we have really already got our stuff out of there.
Oh, yeah.
We had already knew. We made the decision, like we was done. We still came to the meeting just to hear it and see how things go. But we don't want her to lose her building for a year, just in case somebody else want to come in and get the building or something like that. So we have got our stuff out and we took the steps we were done regardless, because you don't want to keep fighting, trying to build that kind of stuff back up. And I'm pretty sure it could have happened, but not with two of those kind of incidents like that. That ain't what we standing for. So if we can just ask that, I don't know how the nuisance thing works, but if we can just ask that, yeah, we don't want her to lose her building. I don't even know if that's even what's going on, but I have seen people get shut down for the nuisance, and the business owner or the owner of the building lose their building. We don't want that. So like I said, we already took our stuff out, and we don't want that. They sweet people, and we don't want them to lose their stuff.
So just to make sure I understand, y'all are not planning to reopen?
No.
Anyway, even if this happened?
Even if y'all told us, all right, we'll let y'all do it up under these certain conditions, we were not gonna do it anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anything else, Phelps, you want to add in closing?
Like I said, we just want to thank the city for the opportunity. Hopefully one day we try it again. We'll be granted the opportunity. But yeah, we just didn't want them to lose their business, their building behind us, you know what I'm saying? And we know what kind of people we are. So,
Sure.
Yeah, we already got our stuff. Like I said, we just came to this meeting because we want to see basically how things went, but yeah, we were already, our mind was made up that night, actually, to be honest with you. Yeah, we were done.
All right.
So, like I said, we thank the city, we thank each and all of y'all. I know you the mayor, Ms. Ava, I know you on the council, Rob, Ms. Nikki, and Ned. We thank everybody. Ms. Julie, I know you the city manager. Some of the guys, Eric, President. We appreciate y'all.
Thank you. All right. Is there anything we need to address in executive session before deliberating? I would submit that we probably do need to just briefly, from a procedural standpoint,
Yes, go into executive session.
there a motion to go into executive session?
Motion to go into executive session.
A motion by Ms. Hutto, second by Mr. Dean. Any further discussion? All in favor of going into executive session for receipt of legal advice? All right. Thank you. We won't be long. Back on the record, thank you for everyone's patience. Do we have a motion with regard to the revocation of business license for Uptown Bar and Grill?
Mr. Mayor, you have to get out of executive session.
Okay, we have a motion, thank you. We have a motion to come out of executive session.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Dean, second by Ms. Hutto. All in favor of coming out of executive session? That motion carries unanimously with 4 votes. All right, sorry.
You want to say it again?
Do we have a motion with regard to the revocation of the business license of Uptown Bar and Grill?
I make a motion to uphold the revocation for unlawful activity and continuous breach of peace.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Hutto. I think Mr. Dean got you with the second. The second by Mr. Dean. Any further discussion?
I hate doing stuff like this, and especially when you have a business owner, and it's so difficult to be a small business owner. And I really encourage you, I hope that you, in the future, will have another business and can take some additional measures that maybe the major was not able to talk to you about, but having heavier security and security that doesn't have a record, and maybe better cameras and better crowd control in your parking lot. And it's with heavy heart that I made this motion. And I really would like you to succeed in business in the city, and it just pains me. But having loss of life and a crowd like that in a parking lot, not around a residential neighborhood, but it's with heavy heart. I feel badly for all sides.
I agree. Certainly, our most important thoughts and prayers are with the families of the deceased. But I join with Ms. Hutto. Take this very seriously. Anybody that has a business and we make it a decision one way or the other, I take it very seriously. I've been in Uptown Grill, enjoyed the food there, and so it's not easy to make this determination at all. And I agree with her. We haven't taken a vote yet, but I do want to see y'all succeed. I know Mr. Yeldell, and certainly some of the others are familiar to me. I don't know you personally, but like I said, it's not something we take lightly. But if there is a public safety hazard and a nuisance, we have a duty to the city of Greenwood to address that. And so I think that's the most important. I do applaud y'all for taking the step unilaterally to close down. Not that this is a formality, this vote, but you have already closed, and I do think that was the right decision, and applaud y'all for doing that out of respect for the family members. Anything else before we vote? All in favor of the motion to uphold the revocation of the business license for Uptown Bar and Grill? That motion carries unanimously with 4 votes. All right. This hearing is dismissed. And yes, sir. Well, let me just real quick, so I don't forget, and then you tell me what you want to say. You will receive written notice of this, and you'll have 30 days after receipt of the written decision, to appeal to the circuit court of Greenwood County if you so decide to do so.
So we, like I said, we just want to make sure that Miss Alicia don't lose their building.
Right.
Okay, that's all.
And that's we just want to make sure from a legal standpoint that it should not have any impact on Miss Alicia's as the property owner.
That's all we have.
Yeah.
So, but anybody else could come in after us and do what they need to do with it.
I mean, they have to go through the same business
Right.
license process, application process. There's criteria that's reviewed before a business license is issued.
Right, okay. As long as they don't lose their building, that's what we care about most. Yeah, okay.
Thank y'all for your time.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
You are during the meeting.